Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom, classroom, shalom. Shabbat, shalom to the 12 tribes of Israel. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom to those men. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters, zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men. Shalom to the children. Shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad on another mighty Shabbat, going into the Passover. Kwam Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All praises to the Most High for this Shabbat. Right, it's going to be a hot summer through the Spirit. Right, so this title is extremely fitting, as we always do. We're going to go to Acts, chapter 18.
Acts, chapter 18, and verse number 4. And he reasoned in the synagogue every Sabbath and persuaded the Jews and the Greeks.
Right, another Sabbath service to persuade Israel, who knows that they're Israel, to compel them to stay in the law, statutes, and commandments, the faith, the charity, right? All things to magnify the name of our God, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And to those just finding out that they're Israel, to compel them to be as a church of Berea, right? To search the scriptures daily and diligently to see if the words that be spoken of them are true or not. Right, it's a lot of false prophets and soothsayers, men sent forth to deter the truth and mislead the hopeful elect. And it's our job, first and foremost, as your brethren. Secondly, as the watchmen for Israel, to combat that wickedness with righteousness. And the only way we can do that is through Philippians 4:13.
The book of Philippians, chapter 4, and verse number 13. I can do all things through my shock, which strengtheneth me.
Right, so through the Spirit, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we're able to cast down false doctrine, stand 10 toes down for the doctrine we learn, not be tossed like a wave in the sea to and fro, and be fervent for our laws and our God.
Khan, that's right. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom to the classroom. Shalom to the elect scattered abroad. Let's go to the mighty book of Acts, chapter 17, and let's start at verse number 2.
Acts, chapter 17, and verse number 2. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days, reasoned with them out of the scriptures.
Right, and that's what we're sent to do, to reason out of these scriptures on a Sabbath day. It's a day of rest, but it's also a day of learning. Right, it's a day of diving into these scriptures, these prophecies, and diving into the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Read on.
Opening and alleging that Hamashiach must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, and that this Yahweh Shai, whom I preach unto you, is Hamashiach.
Right, you got a lot of gainsayers, demons, a lot of Old Testament only, a lot of people trying to shun this gospel, overthrow the ministry. It's our job to go inside of these scriptures and dive into everything to uplift our Lord Yahweh Shai.
What praise, right? Once again, shalom to all the Akim, the Aqua, the Banyam, right? The brothers, sisters, and children. Shabbat shalom to all the Mashapak, the family far and near. Let's go to the book of Acts 15 and verse number 19.
It's the book of Acts, chapter 15 and verse 19. Wherefore my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Gentiles are turned to God.
Right, Khan, and all the brothers, the sisters, families that's inside this classroom, right, and all of the family that is watching on via YouTube Live, etc., man, right, all of you have turned away from the ways of the Gentiles, man, and turned back towards the Most High. Right, read on.
But that we write unto them that they abstain from pollutions of idols and from fornication and from things strangled and from blood. For Moses of old time, having every city them that preach him, being read in the synagogues every Sabbath day.
Every what?
Every Sabbath day.
Right, Con. So as long as going into the scriptures daily, man, right, the Most High has presented us with another Sabbath day to continue to turn away from the ways of the Gentiles, right, the ways of this world, philosophies, and so on, and also keeping ourselves blameless, man, and keeping ourselves away from all mass of uncleanness, right, whether it's idols, right, uncleanness, foods, or anything that is contrary to the ways of the Most High, right, brothers God.
So, and all praise to Yahweh Shai. So we're going into preparing for hard times, right? Hard times are coming to the earth. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Let's read verses 1. We're going to read 1 through 5.
2nd Ezra, chapter 15.
And while we going into this, because before you go into this, go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and give me verse number. You can start at 29. Right? Why are we touching on hard times coming? Because you see what's going on with Iran. You see what's going on with Saudi Arabia. You see what's going on in the Middle East. You're watching the Strait of Hormuz being sieged up and shut down. You're watching gas prices. We were just talking about that, man. Arizona, the gas prices are like $8. California is pushing $10. The cost of living is changing every day, right? Things are becoming more and more expensive. Life is more unaffordable, if that's the word, man. Clothes are becoming more expensive. Food. People are beginning to realize that they can't live the way that they used to live, man. And it's going to affect everybody, right? In the knowledge of Yahweh Bashmi Awashad, right? So give me 1 Corinthians 7.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they had none.
Right? Time is short, man. Time is running out. Right? We're talking about airlines. They're cutting their own flights because of a lack of diesel, a lack of fuel, a lack of oil. Supply chain shortage is coming, man. Right? The time is short. The brother might have a wife. It might be like he never even had a wife, man. Because you may not have that time to be able to do the things with your wife, you know, based off of the circumstances and the conditions that are at stake right now. Right? Go on.
And they that weep as though they wept not.
Right. Why? Those that are weeping are those that are depressed, those that are going through the curses, those that are being afflicted. Your weeping isn't going to last forever because the Most High is going to bring you joy. Go on.
And they that rejoice as though they rejoice not.
And the people that rejoice, it's going to be as if they can't enjoy all of the fruit of their labors. Go on.
And they that buy as though they possess not.
Right. People are buying houses, cars, lands. They're not going to truly enjoy what they have purchased with their finances. Right. Go on.
And they that use this world.
Here's the point. Read that again.
And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away.
For the what?
For the fashion of this world passed away.
See, the fashion of this world is passing away. Life as you know it is changing, man. Right? People that go on vacation, these days are about to expire. People that are able to take cross-country trips, those days are about to expire. Right? People that say, I'm going to Miami for spring break, I'm flying out, I'm doing a round trip, it ain't going to be none of that, man. Right? People that are normally, they spending, Evie spending, what, $250 on hot Cheetos and snacks for her 15 kids, man. And you ain't going to be able to do that, man. Right? Buying Takis and Buffalo Ranch Doritos and wings and going out to eat and all that's about to be dead, man. People having what they used to have in the bar, liquor wars and bottle wars, whatever they call it, man. Right? You buy a bottle of Ace of Spades, they buy some Don Julio, your bottle on my bottle, and all hell be breaking loose, man. That life is about to change. And people are going to start living in a situation of uncomfortability, man, that they're not used to. Right? Go on.
But I would have you without carefulness.
That's it on that. Let me get one more real quick. Go to Zephaniah 2. Right? Zephaniah 2. And you can start at verse, maybe think of Zephaniah, I believe that's 2 and 17.
Zephaniah chapter 2.
Start at 15.
2 and verse number 15.
It's lucky.
This is the rejoicing city.
This is what?
This is the rejoicing city.
So America's the rejoicing city, right? This is the city that has not been affected the same way other so-called third world countries have been affected. See, these people in Syria, Iran, Iraq, they're used to these things, man. You watch videos of them, they're sitting down eating breakfast and bombs are going over their head, man. There was a video of people in Iraq playing soccer and all they saw was missiles flying over their airspace and they were just still playing soccer, man. The kids are running around. They're used. They're created in war. They're bred in war, right? They're bred and brought up in an environment where there's nothing but violence and destruction. These Americans ain't used to that, man. You go out where we at, man, right by the school, and here in Babylon the Great, they are rejoicing. They're careless, and they're not concerned about a damn thing. So the scriptures call Babylon the Great the rejoicing city. Read on.
This is the rejoicing city that dwelt carelessly.
How these people live?
That dwelt carelessly.
And they dwell carelessly, man. They're not concerned about these things. You think they're thinking about a famine? You think they're thinking about prices? You think they're thinking about what we see is about to come on the earth? No. This is a sedentary lifestyle in America. Everybody's sitting down right now, right? They don't work out. They don't hike. They don't travel, right? They sit on in front of the TV with the TV stand, eating a Big Mac, drinking a Diet Coke, and watching the latest Monday night CBS sitcom, huh? And they do the same thing every day. Get up in the morning, take the newspaper, drink a cup of coffee, sit at the cubicle, back all hunched over, crunching numbers, heart disease. They're not worried about what's coming on the earth, man. Right? So this is the careless city. Read on.
That dwelt carelessly.
It does what?
That dwelt carelessly.
That says what?
That said in her heart, I am, and there is none beside me.
It said, I'm like the Most High, man. Ain't nothing coming to America. Right? These things have never happened. If you did an interview with these Edomites and you ask them, do you ever think a famine will come to America? No, not here. Right? This isn't Ethiopia. This isn't Sudan. Right? This isn't a third world country. So they say, I am, and there's no beside me. Read on.
How is she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Everyone that passes by her shall hiss and wag his hand.
So the point is, this careless city is about to be in for a rude awakening, man. It's about to be in for a rude awakening. So it's important for us to come back to the Most High and make sure we're under the protection and shadow of the Almighty, because we're going to need it, man. Right, but
God. And you know, we wouldn't be true watchmen if we didn't break down the scriptures and tell you what's coming, right? Like the pastors and right, they sell you false hope and false dreams that everything is good, right? Like the prosperity doctrine, man. You come to church, you're gonna get wealth. Let me get Haggai 1:5. No, we're here to tell you that the Lord is sending forth a sword upon the earth, right? That sword that's coming upon the earth will not be turned back until all the blood that is required of it is spilled, right? People don't realize that through chaos comes order. So the Most High is going to disrupt and cause chaos all throughout the world so the establishment of the kingdom of heaven can come, right? Bring that out, King.
On Haggai 1:5. Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways.
So now is the time while you have the opportunity, the mental capacity, right? You're not in a fight or flight stage, is to consider your ways, right? Look upon the ways that you're moving. Are you truly moving in the spirit? Is your mind fixated on your How Bashim Yahushai and the precepts, or are you fixated, like the brother said, on the Monday night sitcom? Right? What's the white one, the fat white dude that loves the African lady? Right? I can't remember what it's called. It's Bob loves something, right? The number one sitcom in America that everybody watches, man. No, are you fixated on that so you can talk about it at work? Are you thinking about how you can get in line so that you and your household can be saved? Right? Keep going, King.
Con. Ye have sown much and bring in little.
Right.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
And that's how Esau does it. They slowly raise prices on you, right? Slowly tax you more and you don't realize it. Slowly increase the prices. You just went to Exxon the other day. The gas was $2.59. Now it's $3.89, right? In a blink of an eye, right? You sow so much, but you bring nothing in. It's going to come to a point where your sowing isn't going to bring in anything, right? The famine, right? The destruction, everything that's coming to Babylon is what came to all these other ancient kingdoms that oppressed Israel, right? And we're going to get that next. A little bit more, King.
It reads, ye clothe you, but there is none warm, and he that earneth wages earn his wages to put into a bag with holes.
Right? So the wages that you're earning is just throwing into a bag with holes. Right? There's no saving. Right? They just put something out that the average American does not have $1,000 in their saving account. Why don't they have $1,000 in their saving account? Because everything is so expensive. Right? Everything is so expensive. You have no opportunity to save. Because as soon as you put away $200, you need new tires. As soon as you put away $300, your lights blow out, or I don't know, hot water heater, like the brother said. It's always something. There's no opportunity to save. You can work 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week and still barely have your nose above the water. Right? Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 21 and start at verse number 2. Now I'm going to pass it.
Ezekiel chapter 21 and verse number 2.
Go to verse number 3.
Come on. Verse number 3. And say to the land of Israel, thus saith the Lord, behold, I am against thee, and will draw forth my sword out of its sheath, and will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked.
Right.
Saying then that I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked, therefore shall my sword go forth out of his sheath against all flesh from the south to the north.
Right. So the Lord is bringing forth his sword. Right. And this was talking about the actual land of Israel, but wherever the Jews dwell, that's Israel, man. So the Lord is bringing forth his sword, and it's going to touch all flesh. No mankind on this earth. The animals are going to be mourning. Right. The trees and the grass and the flowers are going to be mourning the hell that's coming upon this earth. Right. No flesh that's walking will not be touched by the hand of God. Right. And the elites think they can go into their bunkers, they can hide, they can make their underground cities. Like, surely God won't see us here. But everybody is going to feel the hands of the Lord. Right. Keep going, King.
Sluck. Read it on. Sluck. All right. Read it on. It reads, saying then that I will cut off from thee the righteous and the wicked. Therefore shall my sword go forth out of his sheath against all flesh from the south to the north, that all flesh may know that I, the Lord, have drawn forth my sword out of his sheath. It shall not return any more. Sigh, therefore, thou son of man, with the breaking of thy loins and with bitterness, sigh before their eyes.
Right. So that goes back into Proverbs, the first chapter. Right. When your fear cometh, the Lord is going to mock you. Right. You had prophets prophesying since the early 60s and 70s telling you to get right because the Lord is coming. Right. And what do you say? I've been hearing that my whole life. Right. And now the signs are coming. You're going to be crying and sighing before everybody. You're going to be thinking that Esau's going to be able to help you, and he's going to be the one who's in the same condition as you. Right. That's why every man is going to turn to his own people thinking that they can get help. But there's no returning of the sword of the Lord. Right. Brothers got it.
That's right. The Lord said Egypt should be as a woman. Let's go to the mighty book of Amos, chapter 6 and verse number 3. Let's go to the mighty book of Amos, chapter 6 and verse number 3.
Amos 6 and 3. Ye that put far away the evil day.
And that's what Israel does, man. Through all of the social media, the music, the sports, the entertainment, they get lost in Babylon's confusion and sorcery. So they're putting things off by their comfortability. Right, read on.
And cause the seat of violence to come near.
Read.
That lie upon beds of ivory.
See, brothers are stretching themselves, not that they're physically rich, but they stretch themselves into an imagination of a beautiful life. Right, that I'm going to continue to grow. I'm going to buy this house. I want to see my grandkids. I want to go off to college. They're flourishing in the mindset that they want to continue on in this lifestyle, man. The Lord is destroying the economy, not building it up. So you can't have a mentality and a mindset that want to further your life in this place. From now forth until the day of judgment, it's going to get more and more uncomfortable. That got to be your mind state. Read on.
And stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall, that chant to the sound of the vow and invent to themselves instruments of music.
Right, these men aren't focused on the prophecies. They're not focused on reading. They're not focused on praying. They're not focused on fasting. And they're chiefly not focused on the affliction of Joseph at this time. Our people are getting afflicted right now, man. Our people are poor. Our people are dead, man, in the streets. They're on drugs. Our people are catching all type of hell. And if you're in this spirit, you're fulfilling those same spirits that are back on the earth. You have to have a mind for your people and a mind to get out of here. You can rush right there. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 20. Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse 20.
Jeremiah chapter 7 and verse number 20. And therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, mine anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place.
See, when it gets poured out, it's just not going to get poured out on just the Edomites, and that's it, man. All you jakes that are not serious about this truth, it's going to pour upon all the inhabitants of the land. Stop thinking that you're saved and everything's okay. The righteous tremble, man. Job trembled. Ezra trembled. Daniel, when he saw these visions, he trembled, man. We tremble. I often think and meditate through the spirit that the Most High guides me in these troublous times. I think about that every single day. Because who are we to be saved? We're nothing but dust and ashes. Right, read that again from the top.
God, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, mine anger and my fury shall be poured out upon this place, upon man,
Upon all men,
and upon beast.
and upon the beast. So nobody's not getting judged. The Lord is going to judge all this land, the economy. He's going to judge all the electrical, all of the different sciences, these men and the beasts. Read on.
And upon the trees of the field,
Even the damn trees, man. Read.
and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn and shall not be quenched.
Right, it's not going to be quenched. It's not going to slow down. Nobody's going to abate the Most High's wrath and anger once it get kindled over this land. Let me get one more. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, and let's start at verse number 12.
Jeremiah chapter 9 and verse number 12. Who is the wise man that may understand this? And who is he to whom the mouth of the Lord has spoken?
Right, who's going to regard the prophecy? Who's going to regard the mouth of Jeremiah and the words of the Heavenly Father? Who's wise enough to apply this to their life? Read on.
That he may declare it. For what the land perisheth and is burned up like a wilderness.
So when we talk about the wilderness in the last days, this earth will become a wilderness. The earth would literally become a wilderness. Everything that you know to have root, right? The cars, everything is going to be turned upside down. And evil beasts and things are going to increase. Their bodies are going to be upon the face of the earth, and everything is going to grow over with fields. And the Lord said this land is going to perish. Read that again.
It reads, for what the land perisheth and is burned up like a wilderness, that none passeth through.
And nobody's going to pass through those days. Everybody's going to be a sojourner and a pilgrim. And again, these are the days of faith we enter into.
Quick precept, Isaiah 47 and 7, huh? Right, just going into the downfall, right, the destruction, right, that's coming to Babylon, huh? Right, Isaiah 47 and verse, right, number 7.
This is the book of, you said Jeremiah?
Isaiah.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse number 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Right, calm, huh? Right, and brother, see how America profanes himself as Lady Liberty, man. Right, has the lady of the blind scales of justice, man. Right, this kingdom, this society, man, sits as a lady that's blameless, right? That has no blemish, no spots, man. Right, that's as a widow, man, that just wipe at the mouth as if she does no wrong, man. Right, but forgot the latter end thereof. Right, read on.
Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children, of widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for thy great abundance of thine enchantments.
Right, calm, man. Right, because Babylon, they trust in the power of their sorceries, right, which is through media, propaganda, man. Right, their so-called mess with their so-called strength of army and power, man. Right, hey, all of their children, man, are going to be cast down, man. Right, all of your so-called mighty men, right, your top soldiers, right, your so-called secret groups, man. Hey, these men are going to be cast down and destroyed in the midst thereof, man. Right, read on.
For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath preserved thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me.
Right, calm. Right, trust him within your own mind, man. Right, trust him within your own belly, man. All right. That's why you seeing these so-called leaders, man. Right, profaning themselves, man. That they are the top power, man. Right, that no one could stop them. Right, they set up so-called bases, man, and all over the earth, man. Right, they trust within their own wisdom and knowledge. Right, but now that they're being exposed in these last days. Right, read on.
Verse number 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee.
Shall what?
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
Right, come, right, which thou shalt not know, man. Right, and you asked, as the brother had said earlier, man. You asked the average citizen, man. Hey, they don't perceive the evil that's coming, man. You still got men that's trusting in buying stocks, right? That's trusting in buying gold, man. Right, that's trusting in their so-called their 401k, right? The so-called savings plans, man. Right, that's trusting in just madness and folly, man. Not understanding and sin, man, that the Lord, He's utterly destroying this place, man. Right, they trust in all things that's carnal, that's evil, that's wicked, that's been gained by bloodshed, lies, right, wickedness, man, extortion, right, robbery, right, lewdness, man. Understand? Right, but not saying that the Lord, man, is already cast them down, man. Right, one more, verse 12, Abu Shah.
Verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with thy multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shall be able to profit, if so thou mayest prevail.
Right, calm, man. Right, and we know, man, that the Lord, when He's casting out these sorcerers, man. Right, all of your so-called scientists, man, your soothsayers, man. Right, your wise men, right, these top men of your society, right, that all men were to look to for wisdom, for knowledge, for direction, man. Hey, all of these men are being confounded in these last days, found liars, man. Right, and all things that they propagate in the news and media, man, is coming back and turning it back upon their own heads. Right, but Brother Scott.
That's right, man. So people are going to be in for a reality check, man. Right, like the brother said, a rude awakening, man. Right, things are going to get bad. Let's go to Ezekiel. Right, chapter 7, and let's read verse number. Let's read 15.
Ezekiel 7 and verse number 15.
Start at 14.
And verse number 14. They have blown the trumpet, even to make all ready.
But what?
But none go to the battle.
Ain't nobody ready, man. Ain't nobody going to the battle. When you blow the alarm, it's time for war, man. In the ancient world, the Lord said in 1 Corinthians, the 14th chapter, if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, how shall one prepare himself for the battle? Paraphrasing. Because you would blow a trumpet, it might mean to gather, it might mean to pack up camp and march, then it might mean it's time for war. So when you read this, read it from the top. They have what?
Come on, they have blown the trumpet.
Who's blowing the trumpet? We're blowing the trumpet, man. We're sounding the alarm, right? And said that these economies around the world are about to collapse. Right? Go on.
Even to make all ready.
To make all of our people ready. We're not here to make the so-called white man ready. He'd have had a 400-year head start. He should have thought this through. Should have figured this thing out, man. Right? We're not here to make the Chinese man ready. Right? We're here to make our people ready. Go on.
But none go to the battle.
Ain't nobody going to the battle. Read.
For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof.
Go on.
The sword is without.
The sword is without. There is sword without in war in that region. Strait of Hormuz, sea mines, Tomahawk missiles, F-32 fighter jets, nuclear bombs, bunker, what they call them, bunker busters. Right? The sword is without.
And the pestilence and the famine within.
And it's famine within. Right? Shelves are about to get empty, man. Right? Your local Dollar Tree, your local Aldi, and your local Giant, Safeway, Publix. What's that spot? Not Costco's.
Damn.
No, not Food Line.
Giant, Safeway,
No,
Shoppers.
no, with the otter, the beaver.
Oh, Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's, man. Right? Your local Buc-ee's can't save you either, man. Right? Buc-ee's can't save you. Right? Go on. They gonna be eating that food, man.
Yeah.
Them people in the back that's stocking that food, they supervisor gonna walk in the back and they gonna have crumbs all on their face. And they gonna ask, what are you doing? Right? Matter of fact, they're gonna say, shh, give me some. Right? And they gonna start eating too, man. Them people that's supposed to be stocked, I can't find that new loaf of bread. I couldn't find it to stock the shelf. It's in his book bag, man. Right? It's like he gonna take that home, huh? He gonna take that stuff home, huh? And nobody's gonna, security ain't checking them. Because security, they need that food too, man. We were talking about this the other day. Them truck drivers that drop food off, they gonna do a detour. And they gonna pull up to their backyard, lift that, drop that lift gate down, man. That food gonna be on that pallet. Them cases gonna be back there. They gonna call their oldest sons, and they gonna be slinging cases to that backyard, man.
That's right.
Pallets of food. Then they gonna call in and report in. I don't have it. It's short. It's not in the truck. Right? It's damaged. It's short. I don't have it. It's a misdelivery. Right? Y'all put it on the wrong truck. And they look, the routers, everybody looking, well, how did we mess this up? No, he got it in his house, man. Right? Sure, some of these trucks got tracking stuff on it, man. These people know where that stuff at, man. And they're going to become master electronic men. And they're going to delodge and detach them electronic tracking stuff, man, on them trucks. And you ain't going to be able to know where they at. You're going to have to trust them because you need them to work. Right? And you're going to have a trust system with these drivers, man. They're going to say, I told you I don't have it. Right? So things going to get bad out here, man. Right? People dropping off food, medical equipment. People drop off medical equipment at your local hospital. They're going to take that and sell it. That's a side hustle. People need bandages, rubbing alcohol, Neosporin, right? All these toiletries, they need that, man. And they're going to take that and they're going to make that a side hustle. Right? You at a point? Oh, yeah, the 4 storehouses. Let me get that quick precept. We're going to go back to that. 2nd Ezra 6:22. The people that got them Amazon vans, man, they already take the picture and then take the package. They're already doing that, man. Here's the picture. Here's the proof I delivered it. But they already took it after they took the picture. They're going to take them vans. Right? And they go on, King. You already got people pretending to be UPS. And they be robbing people. Pretending to be the energy team, I was gonna say DTE, BG&E Energy, man. They knock on your door with a clipboard. You looking through your peephole, and they holding a clipboard up to the door. You open the door, they beat the door down, man, and take your food and stuff from you. This stuff is already happening. So you're gonna have to watch people knocking at your door, man. They're gonna be hungry. You can't trust is gonna go out the window. So read on, King.
2nd Ezra 6:22.
Right?
And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
Shall what?
Shall suddenly be found empty.
That's supply chain issues, man. Right? Your fulfillment centers, your distribution centers, your manufacturing facilities. All these things are going to be shut down and empty, man. And it's a lot of food in them places. And a lot of food going to spoil too. Think about it, a lot of food need to stay in the refrigerator, man. You know, massive coolers, massive freezers. If it ain't no power and stuff, that stuff going to spoil. And it's going to bring in all types of rodents. And they're going to be eating spoiled food, and there's going to be madness out there. Poultry is going to go up. Beef is going to go up. Beef is already expensive, man. You know? All that, I want to try deer. No, it ain't going to be I want to try deer. You should have tried it before. It's over with. Those days are over with, man. I finally want to try some elk. You better eat them Vienna sausages. Them chicken Vienna sausages, man. And some saltine crackers. Right? So go back to Ezekiel 7, King. People going to have to learn how to eat that stuff, man. Brothers had that before. Jake didn't have that, man. We didn't have that. We've been there. But these Edomites, man, they used to caviar. What I don't even know what the Edomites eat nowadays, man. Yeah, cheese and wine. They call them what's that board where it's cheese, meat, or what is it?
Shootery.
Cootery. Oh. Yeah, right. It's a charcuterie board. That's how Esau eat. Wow, you see that? Right? Charcuterie board, man. Brothers ever had a charcuterie board? See that? Right. See, some brothers are a little more sophisticated. They've had their fair share of wine and cheeses, man. Right? But Esau, they going to have to learn how to eat how Jake used to eat, man. That big pot of spaghetti, that big pot of rice, man, with the butter and the salt on it. They're going to have to start figuring this stuff out. Struggle meals. Bring it out, Elder. Locust and wild honey, man. That's right. That's absolutely right. So let's finish that. Go back to Ezekiel 7 and read 16.
Ezekiel 7 and verse number 16. But they that escape of them shall escape, and they shall be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them mourning, everyone for his iniquity.
People going to be going off the grid, living in the mountains. If you live in these major cities, they're going to leave these major cities because crime is going to be too high. Looting is going to be too much. New York, LA, Dallas, Phoenix, Chicago, Philly, even Baltimore. It's not a major city, but people, they're going to be looking to get out of here, man. You know, you get caught up in a city, you're going to become a victim. Read on.
All hands shall be feeble.
What the Lord say?
All hands shall be feeble.
Go on.
And all knees shall be weak as water.
Confidence is going to be rooted out. Read on.
They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them.
No, good times.
And horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon all their heads.
Here's the point.
They shall cast their silver in the streets, and their gold shall be removed.
Right, your money's not going to be worth anything.
Right.
That's inflation. As this war goes on, that's going to breed hyperinflation. They're going to push more currency into the market and supply chain, and it's going to devalue the currency. So now it was normally $5 for a loaf of bread. Now it's $55 for a loaf of bread, man. $55 for a loaf of bread. Go on.
Their silver and
I was saying I saw a bag of Tostitos chips. Somebody did a TikTok. It was like $10. One bag of Tostitos chips. $10. Go on.
Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them.
What the Lord say?
Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. They shall not satisfy their souls, neither fill their bows, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity.
I got one more quick one. Jeremiah 15:1. Right, quick precept. Jeremiah 15:1.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, and verse number 1. Then said the Lord unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people, cast them out of my sight and let them go forth.
So there's no mediator. Right? Samuel and Moses were mediators to save Israel. And the Lord said there's nobody that can mediate the judgment and try to stop my wrath on these people. Go on.
And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth?
This is what the people are going to say. What do we do? They went to Jeremiah. Where are we going to go? All hell is breaking loose. Here's what Jeremiah was told to tell the people. Read on.
Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, such are for death to death, and such are for the sword to the sword, and such as for the famine to the famine, and such as for the captivity to the captivity.
Read.
And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy.
So the Most High is about to get down, man. Beasts of the field going to be devouring people. Hey, them zoos, they might let them zoos out, man. Them wild lions back there, man. We're just talking about them gorillas. You know? Them elephants out there, man. Tigers. It's going to be wild beasts out here. I'm not talking just deer and raccoons. Wild beasts. It ain't just one zoo in America. It's multiple zoos, man. And them animals, they travel. And they move fast in packs. And they breed a lot, man. It's going to be wild beast creatures. Brother said before, psych wards. Loony people out there, man. People walking up on you and, right, bugged out. And it's going to be crazy out here, man. So brothers got to prepare and be under the right hand of the Most High.
Come on, man. And, you know, it's a famine already hitting Babylon the Great. It's just we're able to eat all this manufactured BS and think that it's food, right? We think that we're eating and we're sufficient and these things will never happen to us, man. But it's been a famine in America for years. For years, the poultry's dying, the land won't give seed and yield fruit. Like McDonald's, they have fields that they bought in Idaho and certain parts of the Midwest, and they spray with so much chemicals to go into the field, you got to have a hazmat suit on, right? Just to try to get a certain amount of potatoes. Where I know brothers in here don't eat McDonald's, but you ever seen an ugly McDonald's fry? You ever seen a fry that was slightly green? No, those things are manufactured to look perfect, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 19, verse number 7. And think about it. You know, this is when reality hits. You got all these fast food places. You got a McDonald's on one corner. You go up 2 blocks, it's another McDonald's. Next to a Burger King and a Taco Bell. You go around the corner, it's a Wendy's, right? All these places that sell burgers. Is there that many cows in America? Is there that many cows in America that can feed over 1 billion people? Think about it. It says feeding 1 billion people. 1 billion people served. They're not saying that they had people place orders, man. They serving you actual people. Right? Let's bring that out, okay? That's what they're into. These elites, they're into eating people, and the people, as is the judge, so the officers. They usher that stuff in subtlety. That's the well-favored harlot, man. Through witchcraft and all type of conjuring of demons and spirits, man. They put it on us, man. Every burger is not a burger, man. Right? It was an article. They said at least, I want to look it up. I don't want to misquote it. At least half the McDonald's meat and fast food restaurants contains human DNA. Right? If a brother could look that up, you know, so I'm not misquoting, but we can go into Jeremiah 19. Let's start at verse number 5.
Go. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 19, and verse number 5. They have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind.
Right.
Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that this place shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter.
Right. So no more will you have the beauty and pleasant things that are in your sight. Now we're looking at the valley of slaughter. Right. The valley of slaughter is coming to, like the brother said, New York, Baltimore, LA, DC, right? It's going to be impossible to get out of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they call it the Steel City, and they got bridges going to and fro throughout the city. How you going to get out the city when the bridge is closed? Right? Everybody seen Batman when they blew the bridge up. You're not going to be able to depart. You stuck in the madhouse, right? Keep going, King.
And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives, and their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth.
Right. So even to this day, even in this day, right, our people are they laying dead in the streets, they're getting high and dying, right? Getting gunned down by our enemies. Right. We're target practice here in Babylon. Right. If you don't move circumspectly, right, they're gonna say, remember so and so, and it'll be your face. Right. They're giving us for target and carcasses for the fowls of the air. Right. Keep going, King.
It reads, and I will make the city desolate and hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished and hiss because of all the plagues thereof.
Right.
And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straightness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straighten them.
Right. So as before, so it will be, man. Right. You're eating the flesh of your sons and your daughters, right? Your friends. Right. Where do they take all that waste from the abortion clinics? Where does all that go? Right? Where's all the missing children that they can't find? Right? Where's all these context clues? They just did it when COVID happened. Right? With the Wayfair. Remember Wayfair, they were selling dressers named Jamal Emily, right? With $15,000, right? And they just had them out there. Right? That's the harlot of harlots, man. Let's go to Nahum chapter 3 and 1, man. This place has to be destroyed, man. Me and the brother was talking about it last night. All this ground beef, we don't know what we're truly eating. We just trust and believe that the FDA wouldn't give us something that's disgusting. Right? All this ground up meat that we're eating, thinking it's a hamburger. Having hamburger competitions, man. You eating Jeffrey and Johnny. Right? Just putting ketchup and mayonnaise on them. Don't even realize it, man. So that's what Esau does, man. They implement and they make us do the same things that they're into, right? Back in the 16 and 1700s, they would lynch our forefathers and foremothers and they eat their skin, right? That's not something that went away. They still do it.
Make grease.
Say it again?
So they'll make grease out of them.
Make grease out of them, man. Like Esau, they go hunting, right? When they get their first kill, what do? They cut out the heart and they bite the heart and eat it, right? This is the stuff that they do. And they put it in front of us, and we don't never question it, man. We don't never question that we're under the hands of the same people who was eating our forefathers, man. Right? Let's bring that out.
That's just like a quick point. It was back in the day. It was an episode on a South Park, right? The Goo Man, right? He came to the school, and he said, "Hey, I'm the Goo Man, right? I'm trying to get everyone healthy and to go from eating like regular meats, right, to this processed stuff, man." Right, so long story short, he had this factory, right, where he produced this stuff and it imitated an actual hamburger. So as they say, they got predictive programming, man. Hey, these things are already out there, huh? And in the TV shows.
God, they got the Impossible Burger, right? What is possibly in the Impossible Burger, right? Like, let's bring that out, okay? A few and Nahum, I'm gonna pass it, man. But that's what's happening, man. It's been a famine going on in America for so long that we've been blinded and think that we're in a good estate, right? Victuals are a reasonable price, but now it's all out of whack, man. It's all out of whack. The Most High is having Esau expose Esau, right? Everything is just the unveiling has begun, and the closer we get to the end times, the more that's going to be revealed. Right? It's a reason why they keep talking about these Epstein files, but they're not showing you the Epstein files. They keep taking pages. what they say they got rid of how many pages? Like 28,000?
Yeah.
How do you get rid of 28,000 and still have over 1 million something pages? Right, let's bring that out, King.
Nahum 3 and verse number 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. The noise of a whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels and of the prancing horses and of the jumping chariots. The horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain and a great number of carcasses, and there is none end of the corpses. They stumble upon their corpses.
Right, so that bloody city at that time is Nineveh, but America takes on the characteristics of all these empires and try to take a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there, right? So that bloody city is Nineveh, but the same thing is coming to Babylon the Great, right? It's going to be corpses on top of corpses. It's going to be blood everywhere. It's going to be swords, the modern day gun, just shooting and killing people who resist, right? Just merciless killing going on in Babylon, right? Keep going, King.
Because of the multitude of their whoredoms, of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and thy kingdoms thy shame.
Right, so Babylon has been exposed, man. There's no way that these small countries are willing to join war against America unless it shows how weak America truly is, how divided this kingdom is, how lack of strength that they have, man. Right? You're not going to go and fight a dude who's 6'8", 0% body fat and is a kickboxer if you know he's a damn martial artist, because you know you're going to get your ass whooped. That's how these people look at America now, right? America, you were strong at one point, you're divided, you're full of folly and disgust, you're wicked. Now it's our job to bring you down, right? One more point before I pass it off. Me and his brother was talking yesterday. All these nations who are joining in the war, they always mention how God has chosen them to fight this war. America never talks about how the Most High chose them to fight a war, right? These people, they fight out of faith, though their faith is delusional, right? America is just corporate greed and lust and filth and disgust, man. Satanism, man. They want to kidnap children, right? They want to have more people on opioids. They want more resources to control the world, man. It's just a satanic nation, right? My brother's got it.
They said they want to drain Lake Michigan for their new data center. They want to drain Lake Michigan just completely dry and use the fresh water for their data center. And they said, well, what about the people that need the lake? They say, to hell with them. It's wicked. Let's go to the mighty book of Genesis. Right, let's go to Genesis chapter 47, and let's start at 18.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 47.
Start at 17.
And verse number 17. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses.
Right, these are the Egyptians. The famine is increasing so much that they start selling all of their things that they had, man. That's going to happen in America. It's going to get to the point where you sell the car that you have. You're looking at your house and seeing what you could get rid of. All them hoarding days where you're hoarding stuff, them things are going to be over. You're going to have damn garage sales. You're going to be putting stuff on, what they call it?
eBay.
You said what?
eBay.
eBay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. eBay. You putting stuff all on these sites trying to get rid of it because money is going to get extremely tight and things are going to be extremely expensive. Right, read on.
And Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses.
And your horse is strong. You ride your horse for transportation. You go to war with a horse. You do a lot with a horse, man. A horse is extremely vital to you. You got farm horses. Those black horses that you see, those strong, big brute horses, they're farm horses. They're just like you got cattle, oxen, and different things like that that plow, right, to bring forth vegetation. Those horses are the same. So to sell your whole horse is like selling your car just for some food, man. Right, read on.
And for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year.
Now, actually, an average American now, man, are you going to sell your car to get some bread? They're going to laugh at you. They're going to scoff at you. You know, we'll give you food for a year if you get rid of all of the things that gender and bring forth, currency for you. Or you getting rid of your car, you're getting rid of all the things in your house, right, Vidor?
When that year was ended,
When that year was ended, they ate up all that bread.
They came unto him the second year,
Right, begging and scratching and starving. Read.
and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also hath our herds of cattle.
So now they running out of resources. They done sold all their horses, all their cattle, everything that could make them money. And they said, look, all of our money is spent. Read on.
There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies.
But our what?
But our bodies.
People gonna start selling their bodies, man. Now people already doing that, now in prostitution on the left hand side, wickedness. But physically, man, when people sell themselves, look, man, let me live in the basement, man. I clean up everything. I'll do the lawn. I'll do this. I'll do that. Just let me live in the garage. Let me live in the shed. Right, Vidor?
Our bodies and our land.
It's the only thing we got left. Now, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to starve to death or sell their lands? People going to start selling them houses, man. All their land, everything that you have, even your soul, you're going to sell it in those days if you're not under the protection and the refuge of the Most High. Read on.
Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes?
So now they begging, have mercy on us. Are we going to die, right, in your eyes? They don't care about that, man. Joseph don't care if you die, right? Read on.
Both we and our land, buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh.
And that's exactly what's going to happen to this Pharaoh and this land, right? Whether it be Donald Trump or these elites, men are going to yield themselves over in their bodies and their lands to be subject to them, huh? To be in these concentration camps, these FEMA camps. And that same way that happened of old is going to happen again. It's a little bit more on that.
And give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
Right?
And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh.
Imagine that, man. Everything that you have, your grandmother's house, that been in your family for 2 generations, you sold that. Anything that you have of some type of value, right? Beautiful, anything of value that you have, you're going to get rid of it. You're going to have nothing in the last days, right, for anything to be able to make any money or help you, right? Read on.
Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians.
Took all of the land. Read.
The Egyptians sold every man his field because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's.
So the whole land became Pharaoh's, man. And that's deep when you think about it. So you're going to have nowhere to be able to sustain yourself because people are going to sell things. People are going to get rid of things. Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 5. A lot of people really think that they're okay because, they got their grandmother's house to go to, right? Or they got a little bit of money in the bank, or my father, he passed away, he gave me some money, or whatever the case may be. That money going to run out. You know how much money we spend on food alone? Not even talking about our mortgage, not talking about electricity, not talking about a good time, having something to drink, some wine, just the simple things, just like eating every day. That's one of the most expensive bills brothers pay, man. Right, read that. 2nd Esdras 5 and start at 8.
2nd Esdras chapter 5 and verse number 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters.
Read on.
And salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another.
Right, all friends are going to destroy. We know what this means. That means riots. It's exactly what this is going into, man. Salt waters aren't just going to jump out of the salt and go into the sweet. Things that are in their places are going to be turned upside down. That's what the Lord is saying. Read that again from the top.
And salt waters shall be found in the sweet.
Right, just like pleasant brothers that used to love you are going to now hate you. Your woman that used to care about you and rub your feet, now she's going to a man with money. Right, things that are once in their pleasant places are going to be turned upside down. Read on.
and all friends shall destroy one another.
Right. He's not going to love you like he used to, man. Right. When he had money, when he was taken care of, now he know what you got. You know all of the different places where you hide your money, your banking. You know everything, and he's going to fight you for it. You know.
Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw
People
itself.
not going to be thinking spiritually. They're going to be thinking logically and fleshly. So wit is going to withdraw itself in those days. Nah, I can't do this. This is my brother. Okay, let's go to the book of Leviticus, the 19th chapter. Okay, we got to love our brother. Nobody's going to be thinking like that in those days if you're not in the spirit. So wit is going to withdraw itself out of the earth because all these people of the earth already don't have wit. So these things that used to be of our people are going to withdraw, right? And the Lord is going to put a spirit on the earth. Read on.
Understanding will withdraw itself into his secret chamber,
Right?
and shall be sought of many,
Many people are going to be seeking it,
and yet not be found.
right?
Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied upon the earth.
Right? It's going to be multiplied upon the earth. Right. So in those days, again, we're reading it. The Lord has told us we're looking at precepts and prophecies that are coming to pass now. So we have to be vigilant to see that these are on the rise. These days we're reading about are at hand.
Let's go to 2 Ezra 15 and 15 through the Spirit. 2 Ezra 15 and verse number 15.
The 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse number 15. For the sword of their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
Right, man. And as brother was touched on, right, that's twofold. Right, on a macro level, right, you got World War III brewing up, huh? Right, these nations invading one another, man, for oil, right, for gold, for drugs, for resources, man, thereof, man. Understand? Right, and to have their power structured, man, right, through their armies set up, man, right, to take over and control, right, all of the earth, man. And then on, as they say, a micro level, man, you're going to have swords and infighting, right, within your own respective lands, right, which is called what? A civil war, man, right? Men that are already so-called fed up with how things are being read, right? You got so-called men that are looking to make this land great again, man, right? To take things back to the old ways, right? You got a so-called men, right, that are converted to these different religions, Islam, man, right? And certain men that are going to have to make a choice, man, right? Are you going to side with, right, Iran, right? Are you going to side with, right, these different nations, right, against Babylon, man, right? Or are you going to be destroyed and consumed? So there's be war and infighting on all sides, man, inside and out, right? Read on.
Slucky, let me go back.
16.
2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse number 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
Right, man. And we've all already seen that, right, on a small level, right? January 6th, right? But hey, brothers, man, seeing these so-called movies, man, right? It's going to be a so-called time, man, where they're going to get to these so-called governors, man, right? Politicians, these rulers, man, right? These house members, man, understand, right? And also, right, it's going to be a time where no one cares about what so-called laws that are in place,
Right,
man.
right.
Right, men are going to be breaking into homes, man. Right, robbing you, killing you, man. Right, not giving a damn about police, man. Right, read on.
A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Right,
For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
right, read.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
What?
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
Right, calm, man. Right, a man is going to have no pity, man, when he's starving, man. Right, when he has kids, man, children crying, weeping, right, that hunger for bread, that thirst for water, man. Hey, these so-called buckies, as brother said, man, is going to get broken into, man. Right, these so-called stores, man, and it doesn't matter, right? The so-called bars, man, right, robbed for strong drink, robbing all your shoppers, your Safeways, your Giants, man. Right, your pharmacies, man. Right, CVS, right, Walgreens, man. All of these places, man. No man is going to have any regard in those days, man. Right, because once all hell breaks loose, man, all bets are off. Right, read.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Because of what?
Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Because of the lack of bread, man, and great tribulation, man. Right? Because eventually, man, enough is going to be enough, man. Right? As the Lord said, when there's no more work in Egypt anymore, man. But when you can't afford to pay, right, damn $200 a week, right, for a tank of gas, man. Right, when public transportation is skyrocketing through the roof, and you can't even get to work, so called, man. Right, and you're just spending more money, right, than what you're making. Hey, when bread is lacking, man, there's going to be no peace, right? There's going to be no well, I'll just put it on layaway. No, man. Hey, men are going to be robbed, right? Men are going to be spoiled, overthrown, man. Right? Why? Because of the great tribulation.
Like, one quick point, and AI going to take a lot of brothers' jobs too. Yeah, and when you don't have no money, your mood change, man. Everything ain't too funny. Everything ain't too funny. It ain't too much to giggle about, man. It ain't too much to laugh about, man. Yeah, you stressed out, man. So that's why Howard Shaw also said the love of many is going to wax cold, man. All that, let me borrow a cup of sugar from my neighbor, or let me hold this, and you got an extra bag of charcoal. I'm doing a cookout, and no, you want people gonna be saving their food, man. People gonna be moving in together. People gonna be moving in, man. Single women, mothers moving back. People gonna be going back down south. It's gonna be a lot of migrations going on, man. Immigrations out of cities, because people moved up. Jake primarily moved up here for jobs back in the 40s, 50s, man. From all types of down south, man. You went to Detroit, or your family might have moved to Chicago or Philly or something like that, man. Right? They moved up here from South Carolina and stuff like that, man. People gonna be going back down south, man. Getting out of these cities and trying to get back to that life. Things are about to change. Right? I got another quick precept. Let's go to Leviticus. Right? Go to Leviticus 26. Right? Leviticus 26, and you can read verse number 21.
Leviticus 26 and verse 21.
26 and 26.
And verse 26. And when I have broken the staff of bread, it's like of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven.
What the Lord say?
10 women shall break your bread in one oven.
10 women shall bake your bread in one oven. Read.
And
can you imagine that, man? Right? No food, people coming up together, trying to survive. Right? Go on.
And they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat and not be satisfied.
No, you're gonna be cool.
And not be satisfied.
You're gonna be pissed off, man. You got 10 women breaking bread in one oven, and it still ain't enough. And they delivering it to you by weight. That's how things about to get, man. Not by price. That's $19.99 worth of bread. Here's 1 ounce of bread. Right? Brothers that eat by weight now? No. Right? Nobody in America eats by weight, man. But people are about to start eating things by weight and by measure, man. Right? You better drink one. You got 15 ounces left. Ain't nobody looking at these ounces and stuff like that. People gonna start looking at that, man. I got 32 ounces of water. Right? I got 15 pounds of rice. Jake don't talk like that. But that's gonna be currency. People gonna be having a bartering system. I got 3 gallons of so-and-so. People better figure they're gonna have to learn that stuff all over again, man. Pounds and cups and gallons, because people are gonna be trading and bartering for food and for damn firewood and fire starters and all types of stuff. You had a point? You take a bite of cookie, bro. Right, 1 bite. You and your family, man. People got all them canned goods. Jake got a lot of canned goods in that top cabinet, man. Right? And you too good to eat them. You better figure it out, man. It's always getting pushed in the back burner. Jake, you rather order out than eat them canned beans, the cream corn, the regular corn, man, the carrots, the sweet peas, string beans, right? Eat that stuff, man. Yeah, condensed milk. You got all them. People gonna be pouring seasoning in their hand, eating the damn seasoning. Seasoning used to be a hot, real. Seasoning used to be an expensive, lucrative means of currency. Salt for preservation of meat, right? That's how they paid Roman soldiers. That's where we get the word salary from. So if you got different seasonings and spices and smells and odors, they was trading that in the ancient world, big time, huh? So life is about to change. And all that, I got a fast car. They ain't gonna mean much to nobody anymore. I got a new Benz. They ain't gonna mean much, man. People want to see, do you have bags of rice? Do you have gallons of fresh water? Right? Do you have that? What's in that book bag? People want to figure out what's in that book bag. Book bags are going to be a big deal. You got a shopping cart. Do you have a wheelbarrow? Right? Do you think Jake was thinking about a wheelbarrow? And it might be a big thing in these days, man. Hauling stuff, cattle and all of that, man. So read that part again. Oh, you had a point, Smatter? Oh, you had a point. Bring it up. You will get finesse, man. Right? You absolutely right. You're gonna get finesse, man. People gonna be falsifying the balance on you, right? You giving up 5 bags. You think that's not a big deal? I gave up 50 pounds of rice, right? For 3 firewood, 3 logs of firewood. That's a huge deal. No, you just got robbed. You gave up 50 bags of rice for 3 logs of firewood, man. Right, man. Go read that again, King. Leviticus 26. Read that part again. And they shall deliver you bread again by weight.
And they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat and not be satisfied.
Right. And let me get another one real quick. Go to 2 Kings 6. Right? 2 Kings 6 and 16.
2 Kings chapter 6.
26.
And verse number 26.
Right.
And
it's like all these ancient nations, they already operate like this, man. Right? Americans don't think like this, but in Afghanistan, right, in Nepal, they still have an ancient mind, man. They trade beads and rice patties. Right? So go on, King.
And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall.
Read 25.
Verse 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver.
Damn.
And the 4th part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver.
See that? They were eating the 4th part of dove's dung. Not 100%, a 4th part. 25% of dove's dung was sold for 5 pieces of silver. Imagine that, man. Right? Read on. And they was eating ass head, man. Scraping up that whatever juice or slime they can get out of that damn ass head, and they were eating it. Go on.
And as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help me, my lord, O king.
She said, help, my lord, O king. Go on.
And he said, if the Lord do not help thee, when shall I help thee?
Damn, right? I can't do a damn thing for you. If the Lord can't help you, what the hell I'm going to do? Right? This is how bad, this is what happened in the days of famine. My kings normally say, what aileth thee? What can I get you? They restore justice. They do the right thing. They go out their way. He said, the hell with you, man, and your problems. Right? Read on.
Out of the barn floor or out of the wine
I
press?
said, you think I got food in the barn floor or the wine press? I don't got nothing for you. Go on.
And the king said unto her, what aileth thee?
What's your problem?
And she answered, This woman said unto me, give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow.
So they making deals, man. The so-called black woman was making deals back then. And this isn't hard to believe. We're going to eat your son today, and tomorrow we're going to eat my son.
So we boiled my son.
So we did what?
So we boiled my son.
Yeah, they probably told their son, what's that? Look over there. Hit him upside the head with a rock, man.
Billy Club.
A billy club, man. Right? And put him inside a pot, man. This is sad.
That's right.
You know, and they boiled them, and they seasoned them, boiled them. Mom, what's going on? Why am I in here? It's hot. It's getting hot. Am I taking a bath? Go on.
So we boiled my son and did eat him.
Yeah, what?
And did eat him.
Go on.
And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him.
This is a hell of a situation. Wake up in the morning, stomach starting to growl. Ain't no food left. Go next door. All right, where your son at? We're going to eat your son. Right? Little Benji. Right? Little Ephraim. We're going to eat him. Right? Go on.
And she had hid her son.
I don't know what the hell you talking about. I don't have no damn son. What son? Oh, your son in my stomach? Man, your son was good, but I don't have no son. You got the wrong one, Salakia. The wrong, the wrong person, man. Read that again. You got the wrong person. I think you're looking for her down there.
So we boiled my son and did eat him.
This is sad, man. This is desperation. Go on.
And I said unto her on the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she had hid her son.
No, she gave him up to get eaten.
And she had hid her son.
And she had hid her son. Right? One more. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse number 5. Right? You said what? Yeah, that's nasty work. This is the ultimate. That was the ultimate finesse. Right? She hid her son, man. Her son probably knew about it. Her son probably ate some of her son. You think her son didn't eat during that famine, man? No, her son ate him. You know? And he probably said, look, you know, we going, and the other woman, as they was eating her son, and she's probably looking at the other mother's son and see, okay, is he fat? You know, is he healthy? X, Y, and Z. And he thinking, man, you ain't touching me. Right? You don't know what's about to go down. And she hid him in a damn thicket somewhere, some bushes. So go to that, Isaiah 3 and 5.
Isaiah chapter 3, verse number 5.
This stuff happens, man. In the siege of Jerusalem, they say Jake was eating girdles, man. Eating leaves and trees, and they were eating their own girdles. Their own shoes. Right, go on.
And the people shall be oppressed, every one by another.
By the so-called white man.
Every one by another.
See, oppression's about to change too, man. People gonna be oppressing everybody. Read on.
And every one by his neighbor, the child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable.
Read.
When a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand.
He said, you have clothes, right? You have shelter. You're fit to be king. Right? Go on.
And let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day shall he swear, saying, I will not be an healer.
I'm here to help you.
I will not be an healer.
He said, I ain't here to help you, man. I will not be a healer. I can't do nothing for you. Read.
For in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler of the people. So
people going to really test that. He said, I don't have no bread and water in my house. And people ain't just going to accept that, man. To Gabar's point, they're going to put it to the test. Oh, you don't have no bread and no water? You don't have no food? You got people that got all types of, they need insulin, man. Right? People, they need the daily dose of oxygen. They got oxygen tanks, man. People they need, they got, what the machines they put on when they sleep? CPAP machines, man, to survive. People need wheelchairs, man, and people need stuff, man. Inhalers, people need that stuff, man. If they don't get it, people need EpiPens. People got allergic reactions. They'll drop dead if they eat the wrong thing. People can't eat everything. So you got to just think about the amount of troubles that people are going to deal with when there's a lack of medical supplies, a lack of food, a lack of technology, a lack of imports coming to the society, man. Things are going to get bad, man. Right, brothers?
Let's go to 2nd Esdras chapter 16 and start at 17. Right? Yeah, it gets deep. It's not really as sensitive until it hits home, man. Right? They say it's like cancer. You can talk about cancer, but until somebody actually has it, you don't feel that pain or effect that it brings to a family. Same thing that famine is gonna do. Same thing when all hell breaks loose. Right? We can read about it, right? Sometimes we make jokes about it, but when it really hits the fan, man, it's gonna be bad. Right? That's why Daniel, the 12th chapter, it said it's gonna be like a time that never was before. We just read that a woman gave up her son to eat in exchange that they'll eat the other lady's son. Right? Imagine a time worse than that. A time worse than 70 AD. Right? A time worse than the transatlantic slave trade. That's the time that we're approaching. And the only way to truly get through this is to abide in the shadow of the Lord. If the shadow of the Lord is not over top of you, man, we see you next lifetime. Like Erykah Badu would say. We will see you next lifetime because you're not surviving this. You're not surviving this. That's why a small remnant is only going to turn back into the Lord. Right? That's how serious this is. Right? Let's bring that out, okay?
Go on. 2nd Esdras 16 and verse number 17. What was me? Who would deliver me in those days?
Right. One of the elect says, woe is me. Who's going to deliver me in those days? The elect is saying this. Like, how the hell am I going to survive what is coming? Right? Who's going to deliver me? Because people going to wish for death and they're not going to be able to find it.
At all.
Imagine wishing to die and you just got to live. You got to suffer. Right? Got tears running down your face. Like, I just want to give up the ghost and you can't do it. Right? Keep going, King.
Come on. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for an amendment.
Right, so all these things like a smoothie. You might have bananas, strawberries, blueberries, mangoes. You mix it all together to get a delicious smoothie. This is all for the amendment and the healing of Israel. The Most High is doing all this destruction just for the deliverance of us. Right? One more verse after that.
Verse number 20. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
It's like a bad kid, man. A kid that want to just keep touching the fire and burning down houses. You done whipped him. You done took his game. You done made him do physical training. Then made him not eat for 2 nights. He's still doing the same thing, man. That's how our people are. They're not mindful of the scourges that the Most High brings upon them. Ooh, that was bad luck. I can't believe I was driving, my engine then blew up and it's now in my back seat. Right? They're not mindful of the judgments of the Most High. Right? So for all these things, they won't turn from their wickedness. Right? Embrace the chastening. Embrace the chastening because you know that the Most High is dealing with you as a father deals with the son to prepare you for these times to come. Right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 18 and 4. Right? And I was just looking on Twitter. It said that Iran just shot missiles and hit Dimona, Israel. Right? If brothers don't know, say that again. It's the nuclear plant, but you know who dwells in Dimona, Israel? Jake, our people. The Israelites who left from here and went to Egypt and went to Dimona. Right? That just got hit. So the Most High is touching everywhere that Israel is, man. We're not talking about the so-called white man. We're talking about our people. Right? Bring that out, okay?
Come on. Revelation 18 and verse number 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Right. So this isn't a physical come out of Babylon the Great. Right. Because the same thing that's going to happen in Babylon is going to happen in the UK. It's going to happen in South America. Right. Cuba isn't the only place that's going to lose a power grid. I don't even think they got the power back on. Yeah. They lost communication to the world. Right. That's going to happen to America. You think it's dark going down these alleys? Wait until none of these lights turn on. You walking down Baltimore Street or Pennsylvania Avenue, and you hear, hey, yo, it's over. It's over. Right? You better run. Right? Brothers laughing because they know when you hear that, let me holler at you real quick. And all you hear is a whole bunch of footsteps running behind you, man. You can't see nothing. Right? You got new moons where it ain't no sun or ain't no moon out. Right? It could be a cloudy day. You getting 4 hours of sunlight and it's gray, and then 6 o'clock hitting it's dark. So you got more dark than sun. It's gonna be madness, man. It's gonna be madness. So you got to come out of her. You got to separate from the ideologies of Babylon completely, man. And it takes a strong brother and sister to be able to do that, right? You got to be mentally tough to endure the fortitude that's coming, right? Keep going, King.
And
quick point. That's why in the beginning of sports seasons, the hardest time of the season is when? Preseason. That's when you got to get in shape, right? Your coach running you till you throw up. You can't walk, your legs shaking after camp. Right now is the preseason when you get spiritually in shape, man. Right? Then we got 2 more weeks till the season start, man. Well, all hell really break loose is when the season start, man. Take the opportunity to get spiritually in shape, man. Vomit all that ideology of Babylon, man. Where you go back to
God. Be ye not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double.
Right. So if you're a partaker of the plagues, you're going to receive a double portion of judgment. Right. Receive a double portion of judgment, the same with Babylon. Right. It's nothing you can do. You can't bribe the Lord. Right. You can't hold somebody's coattail to make it to the kingdom of heaven. I can't sit here and walk next to this brother and think because I'm standing next to him, I'm going to be saved. Right. We all have to really take this opportunity and understand that it's a lot closer than what we think. Right, it's real close. Ron just said, man, you better not be at these tourist spots. Right, loosely paraphrased, they said they're going after tourist spots, national parks, and something else, man. So you ain't going to be at the Washington Monument taking pictures this summer. It's going to be missiles, like they say in the scriptures, like the stars falling from heaven in front of you, man. But you got it, kid.
God, that's right. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, and let's start at verse number 18. Start at 17. Matthew chapter 24 and start at 17.
God. St. Matthew chapter 24 and verse number 17. And let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Right. In those days, you can't be tied into, carnal treasures of this world, man. Right. You're going down to get your high school diploma. You're making a bug out bag. You're sitting up there, you're packing your things. When all hell break loose, you got to flee, man. You're going to be all moving after the spirit of the Lord. You can't care for anything carnally of this life to try to take with you in any manner at any time. You got to be on go mode, man. You have to travel to the next city at a drop of a dime. Right, read on.
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck.
I mean, babies aren't going to stop in the days of vengeance. There's going to be a lot of women pregnant. There's a lot of women going to be getting pregnant. And when they issue out, woe to them with child. It's many levels. One of the main levels is that mother's not going to have food sufficient enough to be able to feed that baby. So woe unto that baby that's then 3 months old that can't eat, man. That's crying. If you have a newborn baby, for brothers that know, your baby cry until they eat. They'll cry for them an hour straight. Wah. They stand up, they're going crazy. As soon as you give them, the pap to suck, they release, they calm down, they go to sleep. So in those days, it's going to be nothing but cries, yells, everybody going crazy, man. And the mother's going to have to sit there and watch their child wax away and give up the ghost. And a baby's not like man. Man may have what, a week and a half to live, 2 weeks to live. Could a brother look that up? Can you look that up, King? You know, I could be mistaken, but at least maybe 2 weeks to live, man. Right when you didn't get anything to eat and you waxing away slowly, you losing weight. It's not going to be the same for a baby or a newborn. Right? You could look that up, King. Too, and as well, after you get that, could you look up how long a baby could last? Right, without milk, or how long a baby has? They don't have 2-3 weeks, man. Their body and their heart and the way they're conditioned, the way they compact in such a tiny size, they're not going to last that long. You got it.
Humans can generally survive without food for 1 to 2 months, provided they have access to water, though severe starvation effectively sets in between 8 to 21 days.
See that? And that's if you have water. You may not have water in those days, man. You're not going to have the resources to be able to get water. You can bring that out, King.
There is Sluck. Right. It says that newborns 0 to 4 weeks should not go longer than 3 to 4 hours without eating to prevent dehydration.
Dehydration that's going to happen. Read on. Imagine you playing a whole football game. Do you come in from playing a football game? You tired, everybody run to the Gatorade or the water. They ain't gonna be running to that, man. Your baby gonna be going through that. Read on.
It reads, if formula is unavailable, the NHS states that for babies older than 6 months, whole cow's milk can be used for a maximum of 2 to 3 days as an emergency measure.
See that? And they probably don't even say how long they will last. Do it. See, it don't even say, right? But babies ain't gonna last that long. So you can read back in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, right? And you can start at verse number 19.
Matthew 24 and verse number 19. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter.
You have to also consider the temperatures, the change of all the type of climates that you're gonna be entering into, man. Right? Imagine being on a cliff. Imagine being on hills, rocks. You know, it's going to be a lot of things. You sprain your ankle. You're not going to have the proper things to be able to care for yourself, wrap yourself, sprains, and all of these different things. The Lord said, playing upon tables, pray that your flight be not in the winter, man. It's going to be cold. And whatever you have, the Lord said, let not you return to gather more clothing. So you may only have a hoodie on, man. That's all you got. And it's wintertime. People going to be freezing to death. I believe in Baltimore alone, it was a lot of deaths of people freezing to death. Homeless, man. People actually freeze to death. Right, read on.
It reads, neither on the Sabbath day.
Right, neither on the Sabbath. That's the day of rest. That's the day you're going to be traveling and doing more work. Read on.
For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall ever be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So it's going to get so bad, people are going to start actually believing that Yahweh Shai is on earth. They're going to be so desperate that people are going to start cleaving to false prophets. They're going to start cleaving to men that say he's in the desert. You're going to actually be so desperate in a delusion that you're going to follow false prophets and men if you ain't in the spirit. Because people just want hope in those days. Right? Read on. It's a little bit more on that.
Then, if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is a Mashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, and so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Right, and this happened in the days, after the siege in 70 AD. You had another uprising, or uproar, the Bar Kokhba revolt. And there was a man that came. You could look that up real quick, King. Bar Kokhba revolt, I believe around 132, 135, something to that. Around there, most are willing. Where this man he came up, He said, look, I'm Yahushua, straight up. Men started following this man. Then they all got destroyed. So through sieges and things, men cleave unto kings for hope. Like the brother brought out in the book of Isaiah, right? The 3rd chapter, people gonna start looking for kings, looking for leaders, looking for people to guide them. Right? You could bring that out, King.
Right. This is a bar coca bar revolt, right? Date 132 through 136 CE. Right. It reads, right, the Bar Kokhba revolt, also known as the Bar Kokhba War, and the 3rd or 2nd Jewish-Roman War, was the last and most devastating of the 3 major Jewish rebellions against the Roman Empire.
Right.
The rebels, led by Simon Bar Kokhba, founded an independent Jewish state that endured for more than 3 years before being crushed by Rome. The revolt's suppression resulted in the near total depopulation of Judea proper, as well as mass killings, widespread enslavement, and displacement.
And all that was going on during that time. You could look up that he was calling himself the Lord, right? And all that said mass enslavement, right? I mean, death, destruction. So when those wars kick off, people going to be trading, they're going to be offsides, and all hell going to be breaking loose. Now, this man, like I say, he rose up. If you could find that, I went into it a while ago through the spirit on the cold cut. And then in times of distress, people are going to be looking for hope. And that's why the Lord said, I'm going to read that again in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24. It says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs. Right, you got it. It says Simon Bar Kokhba, Slakia, declared himself to be the Messiah and crowned himself prince of an independent Judean state. He called himself self-anointed. Self-anointed, man. So what was this during the time of destruction? And people believed him when you go into this history. They were following him, right? It says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall shoot great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, seeing this man, he led the revolt, you might, well, maybe he's sent by the Most High. Or maybe this is the Son of God. Maybe he's going against the Romans, or maybe he is returned. It says, if it were possible, that they should deceive the very elect. So in those days, you got Project Bluebeam, you got sorcery, you got all of these things going to and fro, false prophets. You want to make sure that you believe and understand that the same way the Lord went up is how he's going to return. And real quick, can you you mind sharing the screen real quick? These are a few things that that they're saying based off of this fuel, gas, and oil shortage is about to happen, right? They say these things are about to happen. So they say more lockdowns are coming. They're saying work from home. These are suggestions that they're now telling the American public that they need to start considering, and you need to start changing your life. Right, the water. It says work from home to save gas. So if you got a job and they tell you to commute, you might start getting them emails saying everybody that lives 30 miles out, 15 miles out, work from home. Right? They're saying they're going to reduce highway speed limits to reduce fuel usage. They're saying they're encouraging the public to take public transport to reduce oil demand, limit car access to roads in large cities through a number plate rotation scheme. So if your license plates start with a letter A through Z, then you'll drive Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If it starts with a number 1 through 5, then you could drive Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and follow the protocol. You're going to get arrested. They're going to be reading your license, man. What are you doing on the road? Right? This isn't your day. They're saying increase car sharing. People are going to be increasing car sharing. Van prices are going to go up. SUV prices. Encourage efficient driving for commercial vehicles through load optimization and vehicle maintenance. Avoid air travel. So the government is telling you, do not fly. You see what's going on in these airports, Denver, Philly, Houston. They say the airport lines are 6 hours. 6 hours, and they're stuck, and they can't get out the airport, and they're running out of food.
They said Atlanta's wait time is 154 minutes.
154 damn minutes, man. Right? That's right now at this time. Right? So these things are happening, man. You trying to go to the next one, King Bob Kasha. What is that? 254 minutes. It was like over 4 hours, right? It's like 4 hours. The NSW, this is in Australia, is preparing for the worst case scenario, which includes a fuel rationing scheme. So now they're going to tell you, hey, look, you got too much gas. Ain't no more put 50 on 5. Right? Put 40 on 3. No, they say, no, you could put 5 on there. But I have to travel. They say, I don't want to hear that. And you see that long line. It's going to be lines out there. Right? Lines with their hazard to them. And one quick point, you know how some people, they carry that empty red canister to try to fill up. Those days is over. Yeah, they going to say you that's illegal, man. Right? So they're telling, in Australia, they ran out of diesel at 100 gas stations. And so they said people are panic buying. Right? You trying to go to the next one, Bob Kasha? What's that? The Japanese authorities have urged people not to hoard up toilet paper. Right? As was the case during the 1973 oil crisis. Right? So people going to be hoarding up. This was happening during the pandemic. They were stealing oil, toilet paper, tissue, rubbing alcohol, Band-Aids, Q-tips, Listerine, peroxide. And they were selling it, man. They was opening up their trench coat and selling that stuff, man, for triple the price. Right? What's the next? They're saying, what is this? Okay, they're saying it's $85 for a gallon of apple juice in certain places. $85 for a gallon of apple juice in certain. This is in America. Welch's Juicy Juice. $85. Brothers got $85 for a gallon of apple juice. Right? The Lord said, a measure of wheat for a penny and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Right? And the last one, Britain is examining plans to ration petrol, which is gas, and diesel supplies at the pump if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed for an extended period of time. The plan includes purchase caps and designating certain stations to only serve emergency and critical service vehicles. If you're not an essential worker, or you don't work for the police, or you don't work for a hospital, you can't get no damn gas. You better walk. They're going to say, run your ID. Police going to be up there. Check-in stations. Right? Let me see your social. Let me see where you work at. Oh, I work at McDonald's. You better go figure that out, man. Right? So people going to be forging IDs and job IDs and scamming. When you get times like this, people do a lot of scamming. Remember during the pandemic, scamming went up through the roof, man. And people was, Brett Favre was stealing stuff. He was stealing, was that food stamps? Welfare. Brett Favre. Right? He was stealing stuff, man. Them old Edomites going to start taking stuff. Somebody had a point? Bring it up. Yeah, they definitely going to go bankrupt. I was thinking or saying, people do DoorDash, they're going to be eating your DoorDash. Cut that DoorDash out, man. You're giving them a free meal. And they going, I don't know how many times you can eat somebody's food before you get fired, but they're going to put it to the test. Right? They're going to put it, how many times can I eat my neighbor's food before they terminate me, man? So DoorDash, Postmates, Instacart, all that stuff, man, they're going to be robbing and taking food. But with that, Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala. Kwam Yashala.